You may not like it, but lads, it's in the game, so we need to live with it. This, in my opinion, is the top 3 broken game mechanics in FIFA 22.
Griezmann, 3 men around him to somehow find some space. Ronaldo, fantastic, opening the drive back.
He's made himself the tiniest bit of space.
Almost feels like a bit of a taunt. Didn't really go for him.
Oh! The display there is absolutely ridiculous. The Elastico on the goal line. On the goal line, the finest.
We
of
talked about
margins.
AussieFifa. He's not here to make up the numbers.
The outside of the 18-yard box corner technique. Something I use game in, game out, and it scores me goals game in, game out. I've already taught you guys on the channel how to perform this, and it's quite simple, although getting that player into a position to actually cross it in back post is the most challenging part. To perform it, you need to have a player just outside the 18-yard box on the corner, but closer to the corner taker. The best way of actually getting a player in that position is selecting the player in between the goal and the halfway line. He sits about halfway, and the way you can select him is by tapping L1 continuously until you get to that player. Now, usually there will be a player there as long as you have 2 bars set on the corner's custom tactic. Once you have selected him, you can then hold down the pass button with R1, which will do a harder driven pass into him. It will then give you selection of that player that you selected. You can then run in closer to the corner taker, and as he is proceeding to make that run, pass it into him, and he will, as he receives the ball, be in a perfect position to cross it back post, and you can get that header on goal. The amount of power on the cross is around 3 bars, so you need to hold it down for quite some time, cross it into that far post, and a lot of the time there will be an attacker or a centre back sitting there waiting for that cross to header it in. What I find is when you perform this crossing technique, the defenders have a very hard time defending against it and actually clearing the ball, and I find the attacker who is on that far post actually rises above that defender the majority of the time, which means, lads, in my opinion, is one of the most broken mechanics because it just seems to work game in, game out. The broken over the top through ball. This is an absolute nightmare, and there is a specific way of performing it. You need to hold down obviously the L1 button, which does the over the top through ball, but as you're performing the through ball, you need to double press the through ball button. So it's double tapping it, and what will happen is a very lofted and a very overpowered / broken through ball into the path of the attacker, which I find a lot of the time sticks to them, and they will continue running on goal to get that shot off. And when I mean stick, that literally falls into the path of the attacker nearly every time you're able to progress on goal and score that goal. You can also do a driven variation, and the way you do that is by holding L1 and R1 and double tapping the through ball button, and what will happen is a very hard and driven version of this over the top through ball, which yet again is very overpowered, but it's a lot quicker in the actual execution, and you can use this in times when you need to quickly get that through ball off, or when you don't want to have such a lobbed through ball that it might have the chance of being intercepted by the centre back running back. I find a lot of the time defenders have a hard time getting on the end of the through ball, and they can't clear it, lads. A lot of the time your attacker will run on goal and they will get that shot off. Driven passes, my god, they just seem to lock on to your attacker every single goddamn time. In particular, the mechanic that I'm talking about with the driven pass is the driven pass from the winger straight into your striker, which I find lots onto them the majority of the time, is very hard to intercept and is very glitchy in the execution of that driven pass. To perform it, you just need to hold in R1 and press the pass button. Hold down that power button to reach the attacker who is in the center of the pitch. And the reason why this is so broken is because in previous years and in general in this year, when you are recycling the ball from the wing into the center, gaps will start to open up in the center of the pitch in amongst your opponent's defense, which means they will be a lot more vulnerable in the defense. Previous years, you would have to do multiple passes to do this. You'll need to take it out on the wing and then do multiple passes into the center to open the gaps up. This year you don't need to. You can do a direct driven pass straight away into the striker, which I find is so hard to intercept that a lot of the time it will reach him, and you will find the gaps will start to open up and you will have a good chance at scoring and getting yourself in on goal. to get that shot off. In general, you can hit the striker's feet so quickly this year with driven passes, and in my opinion, they are broken and one of the most broken mechanics in FIFA 22. So there you have it. That's my top 3 broken game mechanics in FIFA 22. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. As always, I am doing tutorials on Instagram and TikTok. Go and check them out. I'm also coaching on Patreon. It launched this week, lads, and I can now one-on-one coach you in FIFA 22 and make you guys into nifty little FIFA players. But as always, I hope you have a good day. I'm out. Sayonara, au revoir, adios, salam, ciao, and goodbye.